I don't think it will. I think you'll always need like some sort of humanized touch on things. I'd like to think that we'll use AI for the mundane tasks, like we've said before, with the things that you don't really need to think about, and hopefully it will force humans to do bigger and better things and utilize the AI to their advantage instead of going the opposite and not. Because if you've got to think, imagine having AI at school. I can't even think about what it must be like now. And they also have tools to make sure that they can check if you've used AI, which is quite clever.
That's good. Yeah.
So if they have AI at school, are people maybe not learning as much? And in the future, are people going to then not be as smart as you could be now? Or are we going to use it to our advantage and do it for the mundane things and hopefully do bigger and better things with utilizing AI?
I think Neuralink, touching back on that, I think at the moment it's only from like medical purposes, isn't it? So like there was a guy that had some issues or something, and he was in like he was disabled in a chair, and they put it on him, I don't know what you call it, and he was able to like control stuff on the screen using his brain, everything like that. So, but then to me it's like, I think that's pushing boundaries very early, because how do we not know they've got a switch off button?
Yeah. So is it the integration with your body that is the fear for you? Because that's where a lot of people seem to want to draw the line.
I think it's important to differentiate between medical, not science, but medical improvement to help people than to just help run a business or just take over the world, as an example.
I think Neuralink, I would be down to do it if I was able to control it as well. But knowing myself, if I was to control it, I'd probably kill myself, because I wouldn't know what I'm doing. If you were to do, like, say, a revealing video of like a new product coming out of a box, as an example, you would have emotion in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff with AI, I can't see it having that. You could ask it to do that, but it's not going to be as a human.
And I think that's a good circle to start with. Where we started was using AI to your advantage. Almost take it as a pinch of salt, use it to your advantage, but make sure that you look at what you're actually putting out there, going over it, and make sure that you don't just rely on AI. Use it to your advantage for the stuff that takes time-consuming things and automation, but then make sure that you still have an output of your own identity and emotion to things, I think.
That's the difference. Use it, don't rely on it.
So guys, thanks for jumping on to this podcast. So we're going to change the topic a little bit. So we're going to be touching on essentially the biggest advancements in technology, sort of having a general discussion about them, but also how they are benefiting people in business in this day and age. And also I think it will be good to touch on the fact of where we think technology is headed, maybe into the next 10 years. And once again, how that will benefit people into the future. So starting off, Tom, I know you're a big tech man. You like that side of things. What would you say is one of the biggest technology advancements that essentially everybody is aware of? And to be fair, what everybody's using at the moment?
I mean, it's got to be your phones, right? Like phones, just in general, like in the last 5 years, even from like having the old Nokias and things, but like smartphones nowadays, with the amount of like tools that you have in your phone, like you've got your camera, your calendar, you've got all your contacts in there, social media, you've got access to AI now as well on your phone. I think it's nuts. You've got like so much resource in the palm of your hands. To be fair, it baffles me every day what new things that come onto your phone, especially within business as well. Like when we have business people now, they're just running everything from their phone. They don't need a laptop. They don't need a big high-powered computer that was, back in the old days, the size of the room. Yeah. It's all on your phones now. It's mind-blowing. I
think with AI as well, literally having something like artificial intelligence in your pocket, like AI now, like the way people are using it, they're using it for business ideas, branding ideas. They're using it to create code for their businesses. They're using it. I think AI is even being used to create music, art, everything like that. Like the capabilities of it's insane. And like what you're saying, it's literally in your pocket. It's nuts.
I mean, I had an interaction the other day, and again, this is on my phone. So I had ordered something from somewhere, and I did realise I didn't need the order in the end because I managed to get it elsewhere. But I went on my phone, went onto the company's website, spoke to an AI bot who handled the whole process of me getting a refund, and I never spoke to a human being, and they would bring that answer. I only needed a few simple bits of information, which to me that blows my mind. I'm now not going to interact with a person. I've just got to interact with my phone, and then wherever I need to happen.
That's quite scary.
That's scary,
I think
right?
that's
Like
scary.
for retail, that's really scary.
I think you've got to embrace it though, haven't you?
You have
Like,
to, yeah.
There's a lot of people who are fearful of it, and with AI, what is AI, but what's the best thing for it to? It's basically the best way to use it is to use it for the mundane, time-consuming stuff, and then utilize that. So, like you just said there, why pay someone wages who's just going to sit there and just answer bone questions when you can automate that and potentially then save that money on different things that are going to make you more money. That's the way I would look at it. But
I think as well, no, I was just going to add, like, just talking about those sort of tasks, like I use it a lot. So obviously with Change, we use CRM systems, so we can obviously, see what members are up to, keep track of them, everything like that. And after the Zoom meetings that I have with team members, instead of me having to then write up a summary of that meeting, the things that were discussed and the action plan moving forward, Zoom have now got AI integrated in it. So literally within seconds after me ending a 30-45 minute Zoom, I've got the entire summary, everything, all the conversation back and forth with the individual I was on the Zoom with, and it's essentially a copy and paste into the CRM system. So next time in a month or two, when I have another chat with that individual, I can see everything that we discussed prior to that. And the good thing of AI is it's well written as well. And I think if I was to write something like that, it probably wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, I mean, what I find fascinating is also the power to distill the essential information from those meetings. I mean, I've used it for, like, if we're on a face-to-face meeting, you can have a recording now, and then on your phone again, and then all the information that is important within the meeting that identifies it, distills it, summarizes it, and then it can write a longhand as well. Which before, that was a profession. Like, people would actually be
taking minutes,
right?
taking minutes.
And now that's on your phone. Like, you don't need another person in a room.
But is that the bad side of AI as well? Because I mean, I am a massive AI fan. I use it a lot, and there are loads of pros. But do you think, just to play devil's advocate, do you think there are some cons? Like, for example, not being able to talk to a human, or writing minutes. And you said that was someone's job. Is that taking away a job from someone? Like, what do you think are the main cons?
I wouldn't say that's a con. I think, like, because those jobs are essentially jobs where you haven't really got to think, you've just got to sort of just get the job done. Do you know what I mean, in that sense? So, like, I understand, like, and in so many different scenarios, like, AI is putting people out of jobs, but that should be pushing people to try a little bit harder.
100%.
In terms of like evolution. Yeah, like let's go back to like 1940s, 1950s, how cars were made. Pretty much all of them were handmade in factories and everything like that. God, I don't know how many jobs there probably were back in those days for car makers. You look at pretty much every single car factory now, everything's made by robotics, what is programmed by AI.
And the reason why is because the processes are done exactly the same way over and over again.
Exactly.
Speeding up the process, but also making sure that every car is made to exact same standard.
Yeah. And there's no error whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I think it's literally just a case of evolving. And I said this earlier before the podcast, but the tractor situation, farmers were scared of this new thing called a tractor before it came along. Those who adapted and utilized it to do their crops or whatever are the ones that evolved, and the ones who didn't get on board with this new thing are the ones that didn't succeed. And there's no different to this. There's enough courses that you can do to learn the basics of using AI to use it to your advantage. And the other one is banks, the banking system. It's all on your phone now.
Yeah.
And you get still get some of the elderly, the branches are closing down and stuff like that. It isn't an excuse anymore. You can learn how to use internet banking.
Yeah, it's easy. And I think, like, the beauty of all this new technology coming out, like, I understand some things might be confusing for people, but if you just sit there, like, in your own space for 10, 15 minutes or even an hour, however long it takes some people, you're going to figure it out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And most of the time it is common sense. I think when people sit there, they look at what they need to learn, they're like, oh, I can't do that. You haven't tried. Do you know what I mean? Like, put some effort into it and actually try. But I would say, like, there are some cons with AI, but I think majority is positive. I think, like, the world's moving in a better place with it. let's just hope it doesn't take over. That's the only downside to it.
I don't think it will. I think you'll always need like some sort of humanized touch on things. I'd like to think that we'll use AI for the mundane tasks, like we've said before, with the things that you don't really need to think about, and hopefully it will force humans to do bigger and better things and utilize the AI to their advantage instead of going the opposite and not. Because if you've got to think, imagine having AI at school. I can't even think about what it must be like now. And they also have tools to make sure that they can check if you've used AI, which is quite clever.
That's good. Yeah.
So if they have AI at school, are people maybe not learning as much? And in the future, are people going to then not be as smart as you could be now? Or are we going to use it to our advantage and do it for the mundane things and hopefully do bigger and better things with utilizing AI?
I think, like you said there, is utilizing it for your advantage. So automation tools with AI. So for example, with myself and B2B sending emails at scale, social media advertising is automating it. Obviously, I know you've got to put the parameters and everything like that, but you're still automating the task of it pushing an ad in front of someone.
Yeah.
You're not physically doing it, the old school marketing way, are you? So it's just utilizing it to your advantage in business and in personal life.
Yeah. And I think you just want to be realistic with it. Like touching back on the school thing, I remember when we were doing like tests and exams, it was always like you can't use a calculator and stuff like that. But like, I think that's just a load of crap because like in this day and age, like my phone is always in my pocket.
Yeah, you always
if I
use
need a calculator. I'm
Yeah.
going to use a calculator. I'm not going to sit there and try and.
Oh, I might have to get a pie out and start doing it. Get out.
Like, all of that stuff. So like, there are certain things that like, things need to move on. I think it's time for things to move. Another technology advancements that I wanted to touch on was things like space. Now we all know that, well, as an example, who was it? Was it Katy Perry went up in space, apparently? What a lie that was. But
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, there you go. She didn't move. But things like Starlink, basically, like, we travel a lot for business, obviously working online, we need a good internet connection. But like back in, I don't know, 2010, traveling like was hard because you were dependent on a good internet connection.
Yeah.
And there were so many times where, as an example, me, Ryan and Tammy, we would go to an Airbnb somewhere, and if we'd had Wi-Fi, it was half decent, but there's a few times where the Wi-Fi just didn't work.
Yeah.
So we're literally there trying to scramble to get our hotspots on our phone, trying to find, go into cafes and work in. Now you've got things like Starlink. So when we travel, we sometimes take the Starlink with us. And that's just one advancement in tech, which allows us quick internet everywhere.
I don't know what I've just thought of this, but are internet cafes still a thing?
It's just cafes, isn't it? Now?
Just a coffee shop.
There are
People don't
work
go if you ain't got
cafes.
Wi-Fi.
Huh?
There are work cafes. Like
Yeah.
in Jersey, there are work cafes in the area just designed to
Yeah, but the internet there, yeah.
free. It's not that old. Free Wi-Fi and just cafes designed to work remotely. Because especially since COVID, they know that so many people work remotely or work from home. So making sure that you have cafes that are designed for that is probably best.
It's like co-working spaces and stuff
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people make a lot of money from those type of places now. There are even places in Jersey where you buy a membership for a month or months on end, and it's just a co-working space. So it gets you out of your house, because they know how many people work online. Gets you out of your house into a cafe where they can, sell. You can get coffee, drinks, things like that. But you're in a different environment.
I think that's really good for business as well, as removing yourself from distractions.
Definitely.
And putting yourself into different environments I think it's really beneficial.
Yeah. I think the worst thing when you do work on your own business, you work online, some people do get into the motion of just sitting in the same four walls.
Yeah.
And like that can have a negative impact because it's boring.
It kills inspiration as well, doesn't it? Because you're not, your brain doesn't go into a creative space. It goes into these are the tasks I have to do today.
That's it.
I'm just going to blitz them out. I'm not thinking or creating new ideas or doing anything. It just kills that creativity, doesn't it? Looking at the same four walls.
So I think the workspaces are a good idea. Where I live, I don't have any of them. It's like, to be fair, I don't know if this is arrogant or not, but it's like wherever I go, I sort of expect Wi-Fi in there now. Do you know what I mean? And I think
it's a basic necessity almost, isn't it? Which is nuts.
I think I'm more shocked when I go somewhere and if the signal's bad, I'm like, oh, what's the Wi-Fi? And they're like, oh, we don't have it. I think I'm more shocked at that.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
How rude.
You just start laughing like,
how rude.
Seriously.
Just give me the code.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. So What other advancements do you think have changed the game for us in e-com?
So when we were in San Francisco, first time I've seen it is I think we were outside Mrs. Doubtfire's house.
We were, yeah.
Literally, so I don't remember it. And that car just went past with all the cameras on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one was driving.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Someone was in the back though, wasn't
Someone was in the back,
Yeah.
not driving, but someone, and I just thought,
I don't know if I trust that.
I wouldn't trust it, but that's
Oh,
where we
I
need to
can't wait
embrace
for
it, I
that.
guess.
I can't wait for the driverless cars.
Really?
Did you get one?
Can't wait. Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Really?
Would
Yeah.
that help with productivity?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Oh,
Because you could be working. So I done a 3.5, 4 hour drive today. If I was sat in the back, chilling, feet up
Yeah.
on the laptop, would I have got more work done?
but would you be comfortable? Because they have that in America now. They have Ubers that drive themselves, so you can order a driveless Uber and get in the
Say
back.
that quickly.
I know it's
I
like a
think
tongue
I'd be less
twister, isn't it?
productive. 'Cause I'd just be staring at the steering wheel, making sure it's turning the right way.
I know.
Yeah.
I
You'd
don't
be
even
freaking out.
trust
Do-
auto drive.
But do you do that on a plane though? Because planes
Oh.
are very automated, aren't they?
But FYI, you need to get geeky. A pilot needs to have a certain amount of hours before you can then trust autopilot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What, in
yes.
case something goes wrong?
Yeah,
Well,
you-
I don't know why I was so
you can't-
surprised. I'd like to think that.
It's his first flight. Just press the button, it goes. Because it's you need to know what to do
Yeah,
before
that
you
makes
can
sense.
then automate.
But if
That's
there's
like
no
anything
one
in
in the
business.
car, if it's literally driverless, then there's no one there,
So
and you're in the back.
do they need a steering wheel if you don't need to drive it?
Yeah.
Or I'd like to think in an emergency, I'd hop in the front.
Can you still drive them? I don't know. I've never been. I just
No,
see one
I've
drive
never
past
This
me.
is stuff we need to test out,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean,
'cause-
emergency kill button would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to
On
be
the
fair,
motorway.
when I get onto a train or a plane, I just put my hands in someone else's. My life is someone
Sorry?
else's hands. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You when you go into a plane, if the pilot's making all decisions, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'd
so
say
it's the same with driverless car.
I would say it's probably tubes next, isn't it? Like tubes or trains, those type of transportations that are going to
Are
be.
trains not automated already?
Some of them
There's
are.
always someone in the seat to make sure.
I thought they just go in a straight line and stop.
No.
No, they got traffic lights
Yeah.
on the. Yeah.
Never knew that.
What do you
Yeah.
think is the scariest possible technological advancement? So something like that. So if is there going to be a plane, an airplane with no pilot?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why it
It's
took
called a
so long. Thank you.
I think the drive in the cars is quite hectic. To be fair,
That's quite.
I think that's quite. Like, would you trust it if you walked out in front of one? Would you trust it to stop? I wouldn't trust
Ooh.
anyone to just stop. Generally, to be fair, but
I mean, the one had a lot of cameras that we saw.
did have a lot of cameras.
Was a lot of cameras. So I don't know.
How do you guys feel about like Neuralink? Those kind of technologies.
What's that?
Interesting.
Oh, here we go.
So that's Elon Musk's brain implant.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going into.
But before you
Heavy
even go
stuff.
into that,
We
if I'd have said to you, what do you think about AI about 5 years ago?
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been
And
saying.
what
now,
do you think?
now it's on our phones.
Exactly. So what do you? Yeah. So all this is just in your brain now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, like those glasses that you can put on, and or like
Yeah.
the things that you can do. There's like a pen
Didn't
where
you have a pair of Ray-Bans like that? Sorry.
They've only got cameras in to record,
Yeah.
but it's hands free.
yeah,
Have you got that?
Yeah, not on me.
Oh.
But yeah.
or there's a pen, which I actually think is quite clever that you can buy, where you can say you're on a menu in a different country, you can put it in, it translates to the language that you speak.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, I think is
Clever.
probably
So you get
helpful and
little, like,
clever.
not
Yeah.
headphones, but in your ear it translates.
Yeah,
Oh, I've seen AliExpress sold them.
I do.
Yeah, they're on AliExpress.
Business side of someone.
There you go. But yeah, I think Neuralink, touching back on that, I think at the moment it's only from like medical purposes, isn't it? So
Yeah.
like there was a guy that had some issues or something, and he was in like he was disabled in a chair, and they put it on him, I don't know what you call it, and he was able to like control stuff on the screen using his brain, everything like that. So, but then to me, it's like I think that's pushing boundaries very early, because how do we not know they've got a switch off button?
Yeah. So is it the integration with your body that is the fear for you? Because that's where a lot of people seem to want to draw the line.
I think it's important to differentiate between medical, not science, but medical improvement to help people than
Yeah.
to just help run a
Yeah.
business or just
Yeah.
help take over the world, as an example.
I think Neuralink, I would be down to do it if I was able to control it as well. But knowing myself, if I was to control it, I'd probably kill myself because I wouldn't know what I'm doing.
It'd probably be an app on your phone.
That's what I mean. If
Like-
there's an easy app,
Like with a car now, you can turn the heating on, you can tell your car
Yeah.
warmers on before you've even got in the car half an hour before. I know couples who the husband used to get out and turn the car on and de-ice it for the wife before she went to work. And now he just has to press a button on an app.
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
So I imagine eventually it'll be something like that for
Turn your brain on.
this. Yeah. Well, not
As you're
turn your
getting
brain
out
on,
of
but
bed.
De-ice your partner quick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, for me, I think that Neuralink is both fascinating and like it's be cool to see. Like imagine, like we're so entwined with our like phones at the minute, like it's basically part of our life.
I agree.
Like for neuro, it's just I think it's going to be the next step. But my only concern would be like fear-wise is the loss of identity.
Yeah.
Like you see more people getting more and more connected. I don't know if you see it on social media nowadays. Opinions kind of get like swept up. There's like a mob mentality.
that's true.
So it's like
Can governments or other people infiltrate that and
yeah,
form?
it's like your breach of identity. Then like how long before you kind of lose yourself in other people's ideas rather than because
Politics.
at least now there's separation, right?
Should we talk about politics?
No.
Oh.
Let's link it back to business.
Let's go back to business.
Business.
Politics and business. No, that's not it.
I mean, for technology, for me, for UGC, there's user generated in the title, so I'd like to think that
Yeah,
AI is not going to take it over.
yeah,
But I would love to be able to use it to my advantage in forms of editing.
Isa, just quickly, we're currently working on some stuff on the software tool for that.
If you tell me you have someone taking over my job, I'm not
So-
going to be very
not
happy.
taking over your job. No. But what we're doing is this is something that I haven't discussed with anybody, so this is probably the first place people are going to hear it. In a few months, so let's say somebody's doing product research and they find a specific product, say like a piece of clothing, they'll be able to generate content using AI, and it looks realistic as crazy
So she's out of a job.
through the software tool.
Bye, guys.
It wouldn't touch.
So this is User's
UGC.
last podcast, everyone.
Yeah, say bye everyone.
Really enjoyed it.
It wouldn't touch the user generated content because
No.
like I'd presume if you did a video and then also used AI separately, you'd be able to tell the difference still.
Well, I can now. Because, okay, think of we were talking about it earlier with the example that went round, massive trend a few weeks ago where people asked ChatGPT to create an action figure of themselves. A lot of people did that and it went crazy.
We were on about one earlier, weren't we?
Yeah, we were on some, yeah.
I think James did it, so they probably saw James's, but that only went crazy purely because of how new AI is. That in a few years, people aren't going to bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
So now, when I look online, I can tell the difference between AI content and user-generated content completely.
And there'll always be a difference. I think stock imagery or AI stock imagery has always been around for like product placement products.
Yeah.
But then the credibility and the using of a product from UGCs and other customers is always going to be there. Always.
I also think not to, I think that technology is amazing, but I also think, are people going to trust it?
Exactly.
Like if I don't know how many products I would buy if I knew that AI was generating the content.
Yeah.
I think if there was a mixture between UGC and AI, fine. But are people going to trust purely AI styled content? I'm not sure.
Well, even then looking at a website, complete AI website, which is doable now, over a website then it's got people with the product in their hands actually using it, you're going to trust that over one, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the thing with like AI is it's so not so robotic, but like with the website as an example, it's not human type. Do you know what I mean? Like you can tell the difference, like the way words are, and I don't think AI is capable of creating that personal brand, that level of like being personal within a brand. And it comes across in the same way of products as well. Like if you were to do like say a revealing video of like a new product coming out of a box as an example, you would have emotion in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff with AI, I can't see it having that. You could ask it to do that, but it's not going to be as a human.
And I think that's a good circle to start with. Where we started was using AI to your advantage. Almost take it as a pinch of salt, use it to your advantage, but make sure that you look at what you're actually putting out there, going over it, and make sure that you don't just rely on AI. Use it to your advantage for the stuff that takes time-consuming things and automation, but then make sure that you still have an output of your own identity and emotion to things, I think.
That's
So
the difference.
never put
Use it, don't rely on it.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Never trust it fully.
I think
Yeah.
I was just going to say as well, I mean, in terms of social media, I can tell even with words what's AI and what's not. So what I do is I use AI, but because I know the tricks, I tell them exactly what not to do instead of telling them what to do, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So you can program AI to your advantage, and then you can save that program
Yeah.
so that going forward it doesn't. Like, for example, long hyphens, they didn't exist before. AI has magically created them, and now people think it's normal. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, they know. I mean, they're not on your keyboard when you type on text message or on WhatsApp. Long hyphens were just created through AI. So now if any brand has a long hyphen in, if people have used AI enough, that is a trigger straight
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
You know, okay, that's not
Crazy.
been read over.
So there's already little pieces of information that you
Yeah.
can find and stuff like that.
Differences. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cool. Well, I enjoyed this podcast. Thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Different.
There's so much to talk
Different, yeah.
about though in like the advancements. Like we didn't really touch on sort of the future, although sort of moving into it is going to be similar, just more.
We'll have to do a part
progressive.
2.
We'll do a part 2.
Hopefully, I'm still here, guys.
And yeah, we might have a robot instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much, guys. It's been wicked.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks.
you.